You happy? You guys wanted Thanos to do something other than sit in a chair. You happy?
We save the world. We are Avengers. We are Avengers. All we need to win these beasts till we have dentures. We're not hoping to escape without a scratch. We must protect the pretty face of Cumberbatch. Save the world. Save the world. We are Avengers. We are Avengers. We'll probably be doing these movies till we have dentures. Till we have dentures.
Hey, what is up, guys? Joseph here, and this is going to be my review for my most anticipated movie of 2018, Avengers Infinity War. Now, I cannot stress this enough, there are going to be major spoilers in this review, so if you have not seen Avengers Infinity War, and you do not want to be spoiled on what happens in it, tune out right now. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the cons, get the negatives out of the way. First off, the Vision and Scarlet Witch love story. I didn't hate it as much as some other people probably do, but it's probably one of my least favorite parts about the whole movie, because they've only had two movies of screen time, not counting Infinity War 3 if you count Infinity War. They've only been in 3 movies. Age of Ultron and Civil War and Infinity War. Those are the only 3 movies that both of them have been in, and I mean, they set it up in Civil War, but it still feels forced to me for some reason. But it didn't last that long, because they only had the love story going on for about 3 minutes, give or take, and all of a sudden Vision gets stabbed in the back by I can't remember which one it was, but it was either Proxima Midnight or Corvus Glaive, however you pronounce those 2 names. I'm not particularly sure, but one of the Thanos' side, the henchmen. The second thing I didn't really care for about this movie was Ebony Maw, and the reason for that is I wish he would have been a much better villain. He wasn't around that long. He was the first one to go, and he was probably my favorite of the Thanos' Black Order. I think don't quote me on that, but I think it's the Black Order. I think that's their group name. But he was my favorite member of that group. The way he died, it didn't really hold any kind of weight to me. The third thing I didn't really care for about this movie was, and this I can understand because it is important when it comes to the actual movie, and that's the Thor, Rocket, and Groot going off to build a hammer to kill Thanos, and that I can live with, because that is probably the cause of them going off, is to first of all get Thor a new weapon after he lost it in Thor Ragnarok, and to get the killing weapon that they need for Thanos. So that didn't really bother me that much, because I knew it was pretty important to the actual movie. But once they came into contact with Peter Dinklage as that giant dwarf, that's when it really went into, I don't know, but whatever. Star-Lord, oh Jesus, Star-Lord, man, it all came down to one final battle on, I think Titan was the name of the planet they were on, and they had Thanos beat. They had him beat, and Star-Lord cost everybody the loss. Jeez. And I had mixed feelings, because I understood why he did what he did when he basically cost everybody to lose, because everybody had Thanos, and they almost had that Infinity Gauntlet off of him. They almost had it, and all of a sudden, Star-Lord finds out Gamora had died, and just all of a sudden lost control. Mantis had hold of Thanos, and she was able to subdue him. Everybody was trying to get that gauntlet off of him, and Star-Lord found out that Thanos had killed Gamora, and it just went, man, he lost it and broke Mantis's control over Thanos, and it caused the team to lose. I mean, I can understand it because he did love Gamora, and to find out that Thanos actually did kill Gamora, I can see where he was coming from, but get the gauntlet off of Thanos and then take out the rage. That's all it took, man. And it teased that Spider-Man actually took off that gauntlet at the last second, because once Thanos had broken out of Mantis's control, Spider-Man had got the gauntlet off. For the most part, it was hanging on by Thanos at his fingertips, and all of a sudden Thanos woke up, got the gauntlet back on full, and thanks a lot, Star-Lord. Now we'll go on to all the things that I loved about this movie. First of all, from beginning to end, I was on the edge of my seat pretty much the entire time. During the times that I wasn't, there were plenty of laugh out loud moments to relieve all the tension that just happened and the tension that was to come. I mean, the first couple of things that I can think of that really made me laugh was, why is Gamora? That's a question I think everybody wants to know. Oh man, Drax is probably, in terms of comedy, Drax is probably my favorite Guardian. Thanos, in terms of the writing of the character, I think Thanos in Avengers Infinity War is a better character than the Joker in villain than the Joker in the Dark Knight. In terms of performance, Joker hands down is better. In terms of performance, I'm not saying Thanos. Josh Brolin was great in the movie as Thanos, but Heath Ledger as the Joker was a better performance in The Dark Knight than Josh Brolin was as Thanos in Infinity War. But in terms of the character and the writing and how basically dominant Thanos was in this movie, in that sense, he is a better villain than the Joker. But the Thanos and the Joker, you can make an argument for either one of them being the greatest comic book movie villain of all time. Thanos is definitely up there, if not maybe number one. I'm not gonna say he is, but he is definitely, I'd say, top 5 material. But I mean, I can't think of one villain that is basically as dominant over the heroes than Thanos was in this movie. If there is one, comment down below and let me know, because I cannot think of one villain in any movie really that was as dominant. I can think of a few, but comic book movies, it's pretty much one way superhero wins, no contest. And this is a movie where the villain wins. This is a movie with the villain's perspective. This movie follows Thanos. For the Marvel answered all of the complaints that people had with Thanos just sitting in a chair doing nothing with this movie. I'd say it's more Thanos' movie than the Avengers, actually. It's basically his journey to find the Infinity Stones. It starts with Thanos and it ends with Thanos. The opening scene tells you that you're in for a rough ride, because from the opening scene where Thanos murders every god on that ship with Thor, Loki, Heimdall, the rest of the Asgardians. He kills pretty much everybody on that ship. Valkyrie, Korg, We don't know where they are. They may still be alive. They may have been in the casualties. We don't know. So that's still in the that's still up in the air whether or not they survived. It was not the typical opening to a Marvel movie. Or let alone any superhero movie. I'm trying to remember what happened in the chronological order of that scene, because there's two characters in that scene that actually die, but I cannot remember who dies first. But Loki, I remember Loki telling Thanos that we have a Hulk. Exact same thing that Tony Stark told Loki in the first Avengers. So that was a nice callback to see Loki come full circle on that sense. Hulk basically blindsided Thanos for Hulk controlled Thanos for about 15 seconds before Thanos just basically dominated the Hulk to the point where the entire rest of the movie Hulk never showed up again. He was too scared to fight Thanos again. So we only saw the Hulk once, and that was in the beginning. That's how dominant Thanos was in the whole movie, was because if you scare the Hulk and to the point where he doesn't want to come out at all, that's saying something. And after that, after Thanos basically destroyed the Hulk, Heimdall teleported Hulk back to Earth to warn the Avengers and everybody else. And that's when Thanos killed Heimdall. And after that, that's when Loki, I think Loki came after Heimdall, but Loki died too. Basically went out trying to kill Thanos, and it didn't work out well for him, and Thanos just choked the life out of Loki. Gamora. I've already talked about it in my cons where Star-Lord was basically mad that Thanos killed Gamora. Oh, Gamora, that just reminded me. I wish that I would have done my predictions on what I thought would happen in the Infinity War. And in that predictions, I had all my predictions in 3 different categories. One, which the first category was the things that need to happen. Second category is the things that I hope will happen, but I'm not counting on it. And the third, things that should happen, but if they don't, oh well, it doesn't really affect it. And one of the things that I had hoped that would happen, but I never thought that they would actually do it, Red Skull. Red Skull has returned. I don't know if he's returned to live on Earth. I know there's theories going around that Red Skull was basically the keeper of the Soul Stone, and to get the Soul Stone, Thanos had to kill somebody he loved, and that was Gamora. So, and there's theories going around that Gamora is now the keeper of the Soul Stone. I don't know if I believe that. I honestly don't know. I'm not going to really speculate that much on it because I don't want to get my theories too high, because that'll affect my opinion on Avengers 4 if it doesn't happen. But if it is the case, cool. I don't really know. On to the other person that died. The way I see it, for good. Whether they bring him back or not, that's up in the air. I could see them not bringing him back. I could see them bringing him back. I don't know. If they do, great. If they don't, oh well. Vision died twice. For this, I need to go back. I was talking about in the cons where Star-Lord was the reason that Thanos basically won, and eventually, I guess he stabbed Tony Stark in the side or something. Not something to kill him, but something to stop Tony. And after that, that's when Doctor Strange had given Thanos the Time Stone, and I don't know. I've heard theories early in the movie he was talking about there was 14 million different possibilities of the outcome of the fight between them and Thanos, and only one of them had them winning. I know that some are saying that that's the one outcome, that Tony is the main reason for them winning. So and that'll go into my predictions for Avengers 4, because Avengers 4 I will be doing the predictions. I'm not sure when it will be up, but I will be doing the Avengers 4 predictions. Doctor Strange handed over the Time Stone, and Thanos, now that he got his Time Stone and he only had one left to go, which was the Mind Stone that was in Vision's head. He left Titan and went to Wakanda, and the entire time Scarlet Witch and Vision was telling Scarlet Witch to basically kill Vision, so the Thanos wouldn't get that mind gem and complete the Infinity Gauntlet. And I will say that the Scarlet Witch and Vision love story, romance, whichever you want to call it did pay off in that scene where Scarlet Witch had to reluctantly kill Vision. So Scarlet Witch killed Vision the first time. The entire time I forgot that Thanos had that a Time Stone, and Thanos basically, after consoling her, he used the Time Stone to turn back time, brought Vision back to life, got the Mind Stone out of Vision's head, and basically killed him for the second time. And that's when Thor stabbed Thanos in the heart. And after that, Thanos said that he should have gone for the head, and Thor, you should have gone for the frickin' head. Because after that, Thanos snapped and wiped out half of human life. And if you saw my, I think it was like a 10-second video or whatever it was, of my reaction to Avengers Infinity War, and it was Steve Carell's character from The Office doing that.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That video, this is what that video was referring to, was the characters who quote-unquote died or disappeared or turned to ash during this whole scene. People who quote-unquote died, but more than likely most of, if not all of them, will be brought back for Avengers 4. Falcon, Winter Soldier, Drax, Mantis, Groot, Star-Lord, Scarlet Witch, and the major big three, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. Those three especially will be brought back. Tom Holland really sold that scene where he turned to ash and he was telling Tony that he didn't want to go. Post-credit scenes, I was about to forget that. Post-credit scene also saw Nick Fury and Maria Hill add to that casualty of the people who turned to ash. So Nick Fury and Maria Hill are also quote-unquote dead. And the post-credit scene set up what I had thought that they would set up as Captain Marvel. I've heard theories that she's going to be the key, one of the major keys to defeat Thanos, or she's going to fill the role that Adam Warlock played in the comics, that she's going to be the savior of the MCU. I don't know. I don't really know that much about her, but I am definitely looking forward to her movie coming out next year before Avengers 4. I went with a couple of friends. One of them basically said it was the worst ending ever. It's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger that's going to be resolved in Avengers 4. They're not killing Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. If they do, they're not. There's no freaking way they are killing those three characters, because those three characters I can see being the Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, the new Avengers, the new Phase 4 after all the old Avengers contracts expired. Because after Avengers 4, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Scarlett Johansson, all of them more than likely aren't going to be back unless I haven't heard of them renewing the contracts. I know Chris Evans said if after Avengers 4 he's done. I know that all of that's going to happen. I know that there's going to be a whole new lineup after Avengers 4 and Phase 4. That there's going to be a whole new other lineup, and I can see Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man being the three leads like Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man were. But yeah, overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I don't know where it ranks among the rest of the MCU movies, but I will say that it's definitely up there as one of the best, if not the best. I don't know. But yeah, Avengers Infinity War, let me know what you guys think of this movie in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you hate the ending? But overall, let me know what you guys think of the movie in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit that notification bell button so you'll be notified of when I upload a video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. And also be sure to hit that share button, share on Facebook, Twitter, wherever. And as always, like me on Facebook at JMash97, follow me on Twitter at JMash97, follow me on Instagram at JMash_97. All those social media links are in the description below. Mash out.